Yes, people, big up. I hope you're well. Welcome back to the channel. 12th man's back. We've got a great panel for rival talk. We're going to be talking transfers, talking FA Cup weekend, and in general, what on earth is going on with Nottingham Forest. Big up to them. Big up to Dave. Big up to Dor. Big up to Rich. Big up to Emilio. We do have Rich and Sam that are going to join us. I think Rich just was with us. He's got some connection issues. Hopefully he's back. Here he is. Let's hope that we can actually get him connected this time. Big up to you, Rich. And Sam might be here from Bournemouth, so hopefully he can be if he's out and about. Listen, guys, big up to all of you. Do me a favor, hit the like button. Make sure you hit subscribe as well, people. Make sure you are hitting that button. Make sure you're also following every single one of these people. I really appreciate all the work that they do. They're great content creators. Make sure you're following Dave Asprey. Make sure you're following Dor on Tour. Make sure you're following the Suffolk Crunch for all Ipswich chat. Make sure you're following Emilio at Fulham for the Fulham Pulse, and make sure you follow Eagle Eyed Football and Rich for Palace. Listen, people, big up to every single one of you. A couple of things before we do get into the football for me to promote. First of all, it is our sponsors, Reality Raffles. Make sure if you do want to get to games, you're all over this. Reality Raffles, make sure you're following them on all socials. They're only 99 pence per raffle ticket. And with the code FTM10, you'll get 10% off of that as well. You can win a £500 football match day experience of your choice, stadium game of your choice. And there's instant wins as well. All you've got to do is get into that raffle. And people ask me all the time, how can I get to the Emirates? Well, there's a great opportunity for you to get it there. So if you really do go and want to go and watch Arsenal at the moment, I do recommend you bring a nice book with you. But if you do want to go,
you got to stay for 90 minutes, Dan, unlike your lot the other night.
I did stay for 90 minutes. I was one of the only ones left that did. Yeah. But I was literally one of the only ones, mate. I can't lie. Our fan base were awful that night. But there we go. Make sure as well that you are going to the Hippodrome Casino, scan the QR code, or click on the link in the description. We are going to be there live. It'd be great to meet you all and meet and greet in person. Hippodrome Casino, London. This is London. Will be live with a panel. Lead judges will be a part of that panel as well. Sophie Nicolau will be there from Highbury Squad. You'll have myself, Deji, Don, Lawless, and D as well. So please make sure that you come and say hello. Go scan the QR code. It's a ticket-only event, so please make sure you sign up, people. Big up to everyone. Look, I've got to be honest. I was going to start with Nottingham Forest. However, there's breaking news that Everton have released Sean Dyche, and it looks like David Moyes is in contention to take over and go back there. I did hear Mourinho earlier. That was the breaking news, but apparently there's no interest there, and he's not in contention now. Let's start with you, Rich, as in Ipswich, Rich, Suffolk Crunch, Rich. Talk to me, man. What's going on there with Everton? Is that a bit random?
Not really. I did put on Twitter a few weeks ago, I thought it would probably be time for him to go. And then there was Everton fans saying, oh, they couldn't sack him now because I think they'd have to pay him compensation. I did say to my mate about Mourinho, Dan, because I think maybe not right now. If Moyes comes in, it might be a short-term contract to the end of the season to get him safe. But going into that new stadium, and Jose did say, didn't he, that he wanted to manage a team lower down. So it possibly might happen. Look, have they been a little bit spooked by us and Wolves picking up a few points because they probably thought they were going to be safe? So, look, Dyche is a decent manager. I think you know what you get from him. It's probably not exciting football. They're good defensively. Obviously, got a good draw at yours, and they drew away at City, and Chelsea. But then I think last week when they played Bournemouth, did they have any shots on goal? I mean, they've scored, 15 goals, guys, haven't they, all season? So they know that they have to be in the Premier League, don't they, when they go to that new stadium? They cannot be playing.
Do you think they have more chance, though, Rich, of staying up with Dyche? Because I know it's crap football, but actually...
It depends who they get, Dan, doesn't it? If you got David Moyes, I'd think you'd still have a decent opportunity to stay up. But you don't want to be Everton and playing Wycombe Wanderers, guys, at your new stadium in the first game of the season. I know, look, you've got a flash new stadium, but they're always on that edge, aren't they? And you think, I remember Sunderland, Dan, when they were always down there and they were always just avoiding it. And then sooner or later, you'll disappear down that plug hole. And they know now that they're in a scrap probably with us, Wolves, and probably Leicester, because Southampton are gone, aren't they? Palace are going to be safe. They'll get enough. They've got enough good players now. They've got people coming back to fitness. So they know they're in that mix. And is it a gamble? Possibly, but I think they've rolled the dice. And you think, look, most teams down the bottom, don't they? They all sack their managers. If you look at them now, Dan, I think we're the only team with the manager we had at the start of the season, and we're not going to sack McKenna. He could lose every game. I said on here before, he's pretty much got a free hit. But these other teams, it's imperative that they stay in the Premier League. They have to stay in.
Agreed, and I think they do. And look, David Moyes has actually done unbelievable at West Ham. I can't believe that the West Ham fans gave him so much stick. I appreciate that he might have taken him as far as he can, but that was kind of an overachievement in my opinion. You know, he's taken Everton and West Ham to European competitions. Everton were actually Champions League, West Ham Europe. He actually won West Ham their first trophy in 43 years. So this is not a muppet that they're getting if they get Moyes back, in my opinion. I think it would be a fair appointment, and I would rather have David Moyes than Dyche. I know it's not a great choice, but I would rather have David Moyes. I think the problem we've got is there's a fan base, and I'd appreciate this at the moment. The style of play is so boring, and Arsenal at the moment are going to down that David Moyes / Tony Pulis march, all these set pieces and boring football. And I must say, it is absolutely horrendous to watch. And it's not so bad when you're winning, when you're doing a Simeone, Mourinho, or Conte, when you're doing 1-0, 2-1. George Graham, when I grew up on it, I just think it is so bad when you're not winning football games to watch. It is absolutely embarrassing. And I always would rather, I think, if I was to lose a game, lose 4-3 than lose 1-0, because it is just absolutely horrendous to sit there and just not have any shots on goal or any chances. So, look, I think we've all been there before. I think it's a bit of a strain.
You're talking about our game on the 27th, Dan, because that was literally a bore fest, wasn't it?
Bruv, it was absolutely horrendously bad. It was so bad.
If you were a neutral tuning into that night on Amazon, you'd quickly be switching the remote for something else, wouldn't you? And it was probably down to a lot how we played that night, to be honest. I know we had to. We had to come and I knew we had to come and be a bit defensive that night. Were we a bit too defensive? Maybe. We probably wouldn't have got anything if we'd have come and attacked you. We might have lost 3 or 4-0. So I think that game was a bit. But I agree with you. You're paying a lot of money now to go and watch football, and you do want to be entertained, don't you?
You really do. And I must say, I was just absolutely horrendously bored of that night, about as bored as I was at the weekend, to be fair, because it was just horrendous watching us against Newcastle. I don't think Newcastle could believe their luck, to be fair. It was so easy for Eddie Howe's team, and they didn't really have to do much, really.
It was the ball, Dave. It was the ball.
Oh, don't. The same ball that he scored 13 goals with against the last 3 teams. Very bizarre bloke he is. I'll tell you this now. He's starting to get more on my tits. He is, Mikel Arteta. His press conferences he talks to are absolutely embarrassing, aren't they? Absolutely embarrassing, this manager is sometimes. Stuff he does and says. It's just, what is this guy on about half the time? You know, I've never known a manager to do so many gimmicks in my life as an amateur, as an inexperienced manager, like blasting, he'll never walk alone out the speakers. I need to lose 4-0 at Anfield, and squeezing lemons in glasses to try and make you say you're a team, and buying a dog called Win when you don't win. Like, what is happening with this geezer? Like, honestly, I'm tired of him, man. I tell you, it's just absolutely embarrassing. It's just shocking.
Daniel, as the oldest member of 12-man community, if you feel the need to talk, I'm here for you, mate.
Mate, I did get to that stage, man, but I'm so done with it now, Dave. Honestly, I've been saying this for years.
Dave, we don't talk to our rivals now. It's just we level with them now. Just leave them alone.
Yeah, man. I don't know why you're still on this show. You should be on Race for Europe, both of you.
Wait, Dad, don't give me that nonsense. I've been echoing since September. Don't give me that nonsense.
Look, do you know what? Do you know what it is? I actually said that I would wait until the new year and then I would look at where things are. And Forest, actually. I mean, I spoke to Pete and I was like, look, we got you. Do you want to jump on? He's like, yeah. He's like, I suppose we're half Race for Europe. And I'm like, look, if Nottingham Forest weren't playing right now, they'd be on the show with us. Because you were playing, obviously. Where did you play?
We were, Dan, we were racing for Europe on Monday night in a very cold Wolverhampton.
Bro, you're so good at the moment, man. So good to see you.
As the temperatures plummeted, Captain Scott and his lads were parked outside Molineux. Forest were inside warming everything up. Honestly, it's just, it's the most. I'll tell you something. One thing is for certain: this 12-man community has a lot of people in it, and I'm telling you now. Not only am I the oldest, I'm the happiest by a mile. Absolutely the happiest. We are. Thought about this today because I knew this would come up tonight. We are the happiest football team, I think, on the planet. Liverpool aren't as happy as us. They just lost to Tottenham. At the weekend, they had the Trent Alexander-Arnold issue, which didn't show unity because when the lad was having a bad time, none of his mates went and helped him. Mo didn't run back. Gravenberch didn't run back. Basically, the other 10 looked at Trent and went, well, you've talked to Real Madrid. How dare you? So Liverpool are not united. Arne Slot, we're still living rent-free in his head because he was asked about this great run he's been on. The first thing he brought up was losing to Nottingham Forest, and I thought, how fascinating psychologically that Arnie can't get Nottingham Forest out of his tiny brain. Maybe that's why his hair's fallen out, because Nottingham Forest forced his follicles out. Right?
Did you notice how shiny his head was last night, guys?
Yeah, it'll be even shiny. Yeah, I tell you what, Rich.
Wow.
Rich, we've got the pledge for his head next Tuesday at City Ground, right? Arsenal are not very happy. Boy, I watched Arsenal the night. It was a litany of people on the verge of a nervous breakdown. Tottenham Hotspur. Every win at Tottenham Hotspur is papering over the cracks. There were loads of people last night unhappy that they won because they want to hang out. I think the only two teams who are near to us in happiness are Newcastle United and AFC Bournemouth.
Yeah,
they're the three happiest teams. Yeah. And I'll tell you something. Fulham. Let's chuck Fulham in, right? Absolutely. To me, they're the four most. I know Liverpool are top, but they're not settled. This Alexander-Arnold issue reverberated throughout that match on Sunday, and a team that had been written off and had denigrated as completely average went to Anfield, dominated, and should have won. If I had been in the box instead of Harry Maguire, Manchester United would have won that game, right? So Liverpool aren't happy. It's almost
what
like
shout that is.
Yeah, honestly, Liverpool are top, but it's almost like they're on sufferance, you know. So I look at us. I tell you what, I watched us on Monday night, and I'll tell you another thing. Wolverhampton Wanderers are not going down.
Yeah,
they played some really good football. Yeah. From what Wolves did wrong, their people did wrong. They came out with some of the most hideous chants, the most inhuman, horrible thoughts that any people could ever come out with. And the person that it was directed against, whose family it was directed against, took his revenge. As soon as that happened, from that goal to the second one, Wolverhampton Wanderers were in total control. Murillo clears off the line. Sells, who loves a clean sheet more than anybody loves a goal, had to make a couple of blinding saves, right? Wolves could easily have been 3-1, 4-1 up at that point. And then, this is the most irritating fact about Nottingham Forest to all the others, just when you think you've got Forest, this iteration of Forest, not Forest generally in history, they go and make it 2-0. And then the second half is a game management thing. But what I couldn't get away from on Monday night, Ben was there, he stood next to me and he knows what I'm on about. It's the unity. Nobody in that squad is a spare part, not one of them. At the end of the game, James Ward-Prowse come on. He's not had many minutes. He's been a peripheral figure. He's a wonderful footballer. He's an experienced footballer. The ball gets played to him. He could have shot, but he didn't. He thought, there's Taiwo. He's inside. He needs a goal. We all love Taiwo. Let's get Taiwo a goal to help his confidence. James Ward-Prowse played the ball across to him. Taiwo tapped him for 3-0, which was a little bit... No, it wasn't a little bit harsh. It was very harsh on Wolves because they play some really good football, right? They've got really good wingers, Wolves. Rodrigo Gomez, watch that lad. He's a good player. They did miss Cunha. We didn't think they'd miss Cunha, but they missed Cunha because whereas Morgan can break in midfield and carry the ball, Cunha wasn't there to do that for Wolves. If Cunha would have played, I think Forest might have found it more difficult, right? It's a fair
just quickly, Dave, just quickly on him. How did he only get a 2-game ban?
I don't know, Rich. Because I'm telling you what, Rich, if he'd have grabbed my glasses, mate, he'd have... Yeah, I would have exacted retribution, I think is the way to put it. But the thing was, what really struck me was when Taiwo scored, every one of them went to him. Every one of them went to James Ward-Prowse. They were all on the field at the end. There was good respect between Forest and Wolves at the end. They were all shaking hands. You know, Nuno observed where he'd been and all this kind of stuff. And then right at the very end, Murillo brought Danilo just back from this horrific injury. He brought him across to us. And I just looked at it and I thought, it's the same feeling I had at Chelsea during the brawl. Forest are playing like a family. They really are playing like a family. And I'm telling you, it's such a tsunami of pride that I've got. I can't believe I'm struggling to deal with it. I never, ever foresaw this coming. I said for so long, and I get stick for it, but I have to mean it. 17th will do me. I mean, I've got to give my brother some credit. Rob, he's in
the chat, Dave. He's in the chat, Dave. He's in the chat.
Who Rob is?
Yeah,
well, my brother went, he went, should be safe now, mate, or something along those lines, And that is what Nuno is saying, the same three things: improve, compete, humble. And Forest, I'll tell you what Forest have done. They've done two incredible things, right? They've gone from being the most chaotic club in the country, which was 2 years ago, right? Utter chaos, to being a team now that is settled and together and beautifully organised, right? The other thing Forest have done, they've booked the trend, and I think they've bent the conversation of modern football in the FIFA video game era, where everything's about entertainment, everything's about possession, everything's about attackers, strikers, forwards. Nottingham Forest and Brian Clough, 50 years on, would be loving it. Brian Clough always said, all good sides are built on clean sheets. If Ange wants to entertain, that's up to him. If all the Arsenal fans want to be entertained, if all the Liverpool fans want to be entertained, Nottingham Forest seems to me, and I don't want to over big up my own club because I love them dearly.
No, do it, Dave. Do it. Stop it.
I tell you what Nottingham Forest are doing. They are showing to the world at the moment that defending is as much a part of football as attacking is, right? You say to Milenkovic, you say to Murillo, you say to Morata, you say to Ola Aina, who's now being coveted by loads of clubs. He was chucked out of Chelsea. You say to Matt Sells, it's about stopping goals going in as much as it is about scoring them at the other end. I think we might be the lowest for possession in the league. Forest are like a punk band. They're like the Pistols in the 70s when they came along the Pistols and blew all this horrible prog rock away. And it's almost like saying, Forest is saying, well, it's okay to defend, isn't it? I watch so much YouTube content, and it all seems to be about forwards and strikers, and we want to play real football like we play on a computer screen. Bullshit. Stop it going in the back of the net. Brian Clough said, somebody said to him, you signed Shilton and he won you the league. And Cloughy went, yeah, him and the back four, because all good sides are built on clean sheets. Everton, right, have tried to do the same thing, but where Everton fall down is they haven't got any cutting edge. Forest have got Chris Wood, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Anthony Elanga, Morgan Gibbs-White, and Elliot Anderson, who can do so much. And then he can bring Taiwo off the bench. Forest have got this ability to soak up a blast and then hit on the counter. And at the moment, the last six, Manchester United, Aston Villa, Brentford at home in their mighty fortress that we all thought was impregnable, right? Tottenham Hotspur, who had loads of possession. Forest were laughing. Hey, have you looked? Tottenham have had 80% possession. Yeah, but we'll pick them off in a minute, right? And then whoever else we've played since then, they don't know how to deal with it. And I'm telling you, next Tuesday night, that lot are going to come and chuck the kitchen sink at us. They are going to be wound up. Their team talk will be effing this and effing that. Nuno will be going, can you hear him in that dressing room getting wound up? And Forest are built like the old-time Forest to withstand that blast. And Tuesday night is the easiest game Nottingham Forest will have had for centuries, right? Puts just no pressure on us. If we lose, status quo maintained. If Nottingham Forest somehow pull off the miracle and beat that lot on Tuesday night, where do the conversations go then? So I've had to get all this off my chest because at the moment it's the best I've felt since the 80s when we had a really good side that everybody liked. This is great stuff from Forest, honestly.
Can I just echo what Dave just said? Or do you want to read the super chat, Dave, Dan?
I want to read a super chat, and I've got a question for Rich because I completely forgot that Rich has got a preview at 7:30. He did tell me about, and I completely forgot to ask him.
Sorry, Rich.
I shouldn't have let Dave go first, Rich. That's what it was, mate. No, I'm joking. No, it's my fault. It's my fault. I've completely forgot.
Rich, I apologise, mate. I'm sorry.
Wabelli says, Dave, you're getting ahead of yourself. Your manager says stay humble, but you can't help yourself. Judging Liverpool, Arsenal, and the big guys. Listen, I can understand why.
Dave, I'll respond that to later.
We'll come back to that.
I'd like to meet him. I think he'd change his view on me.
Yeah, 100%. And do you know what, that's not something I would say Dave has traits wise. But anyway, Rich, big up to you, man. I see today that you're linked with that Millwall winger. This is like typical Crystal Palace going to the Championship and picking the best players, man. Elise, Eze, now Essa. Is it Essa? Romain Essa?
Yeah, Essa.
I don't know if that's how you say his name. Obviously, Adam Wharton as well. Talk to me, bro. What's happening?
First and first, apologies for technical difficulties.
Come on, man.
But anyway, honestly, I just hope we get this done sooner rather than later because Glasner's said from even after the summer window closed, he's got his targets. But one thing we do really badly, granted we get lots of the best championship talent out there, we do it so slow. And there are other clubs, I believe Fulham, Bournemouth, Forest, I think as well, have all inquired. Please correct me if I'm wrong. So we've got to get this done as soon as possible. Because we're on the rise. I did say we just needed to win that first game. And we've done all right. 2 defeats in 12. I've granted like a load of draws. Too many draws, to be fair. Glad Adam's here. And we're climbing up the we're climbing up the table. So we got to get this January transfer window right. Listen, congratulations to both like Wolves and Ipswich.
Who's that? Someone's phone's going off.
Sorry, somebody ringing me to tell me to shut
thank
the
God.
F up.
Go on, Rich.
I've had all these technical issues. I thought, not this again, not me again. Look, Ipswich and Wolves have been doing one. That's annoyed me because I just really wanted to just get distance. And they've obviously picked up some points, obviously, the last couple of weeks. But if we get our window right, we can look up the table rather than down.
The way you're playing at the moment is so inconsistent, Rich. I don't know what to expect with Palace, really. It's like the team you don't want to put in your accumulator. Do you know what I mean? 'Cause you just don't know what's going to happen.
Do not do it.
I look at the team and I just think, I like a lot of your players. I can't lie, I do. I like a lot of your players, and I've got to ask you on Mark Guehi, because a lot of Chelsea fans are saying that they're potentially going to be getting Mark Guehi across the line. I've heard today that probably is not going to be the case now. What are you hearing about that, bro?
It's a lot of mixed messages. I think we expect him to go at the summer at the very latest because he'll be headed into his last year of his contract. And I think Chelsea want to make Chalobah a make weight. So if we can get as much money as possible for him and get Trevor Chalobah as well, then happy days. But we're kind of preparing for the fact that he's going to be going. That's why we signed Chaddy Riyad in the summer. We signed him advanced. So, look, we're Palace. Players are going to come and go until we decide to be very serious in the market and try and push for a European place, which is difficult as it is. It is what
You're stuck with Glasner though, man, and like fair play, because I actually don't think it is the manager. I think there's been a lot of problems at Palace outside of that, and I think that Glasner is actually a good coach, man. And I think that if you show that you speak with him,
he's worked wonders. What he's got out of Will Hughes this season is unbelievable. I know Dawes gone there. He's put his head
I can't stand him, but I think he's been playing very well for you.
He's been unbelievable. Yeah. He's been brilliant. And we've got a settled back three now. Chalobah, Lacroix and Gay. That helps. Henderson's been brilliant this season. And Ismail Assar, fair play to you. He's been a threat for us. So,
bro, I think the one that's impressed me, I like Lacroix, but the one that's impressed me, man, every time I watch Palace, that Daniel Munoir, is it? The right back?
Yeah.
Man, he's a good player, bro. He's a good player, man.
Up and down. We missed him against in those 2 games against Arsenal. We missed him bad.
Good player. Very good player, man. Look, at Palace, they're going to be fine. I know the other thing. I always try and wind D up and say you're going down, but I know you're not. So it's all good. But listen, bro, I appreciate you coming on. And apologies that I couldn't get you in sooner, man. I completely forgot you had your preview, man. So I appreciate you coming on, Rich, and I'll let you shoot and go do your preview, mate. Make sure you go follow Rich at Eagle Died Football, all right? Big up, Rich. Love, man.
Big up, everyone. Take care.
Cheers, Rich.
Take care, man. Listen, I'm going to come back to Forest in a minute, but Adam, welcome, my bro.
Hello, mate.
I hope you're well. Talk to me about Brighton right now. Belabor is 100 million according to Manchester City fans. Is that right? If Manchester City fans want him, is that the news?
Well, first, I'm not all right because I don't remember the last time we won a football game. So that's not been great. The Man City are frustrating because they've also just screwed us over with the defender we were trying to sign, and they were giving us.
Is it Kuzanov?
No, the guy from Palmeiras, is it?
Oh, Vitor Reis. Yeah, there's a lot of talk about him. Arsenal will link with him as well. Yeah, he's supposed to be really good at 18.
Yeah, I hope he's not now because he's not coming to us. We spent ages trying to, get a deal on him, and then Man City went, "I'll tell you what, how about 40 million?" And suddenly, Palmeiras don't need to keep him for the Club World Cup or any of it, and they'll cash in. So that's been awesome. We've got no defenders left; they're all injured. We've lost João Pedro. We're in a bad place. For Belabor, Belabor's been our outstanding player this season. He's very good, obviously against your lot, Dan. I know you can't do these kind of comparisons, but he's better than Caicedo. He's got more upside than Caicedo. So if Caicedo goes for what he went, I mean, City aren't as stupid as Chelsea, though. So there is that.
Wow, you really believe that? Because I keep saying this, Bissouma, then you had Caicedo, now you've got Baleba. Listen, I haven't seen enough of Baleba yet. I think Caicedo is insane, by the way. I think he's so good. But
really good
Baleba,
season, yeah.
Wow, Baleba, I mean, he is the one that people are talking about and that people want. Well, how do you keep doing this, man? Your scouting is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we've got a fourth one. That's the problem. So I don't know if they're going to want to sell him anytime soon. It's the problem, right? The operating model is done in a way where if they get what they think is a good amount of money to make something happen and it's a good profit, they'll do it. But we're in that position now. You've seen we had to go out, spend all that money. We've now got quite a disjointed squad because we had to rebuild so much because we lost the spine of the team. With between Caicedo and McAllister, ripping all that out and then trying to start again is really, really, really hard. So we don't have we don't have a direct replacement anytime soon. And with the amount of injuries we've had at the moment, I really don't see us doing much in the way of outgoings. If we don't sign a centre back this January, we're screwed.
Bro, I do hope that João Pedro is okay. I guess it's a skull injury that he got when Saliba absolutely Zidaned him. I hope he's all right and manages to play again this season.
He already had a head injury from the previous game. And he was wearing he was bled completely against Villa. He got absolutely crunched. And he steps out and then just straight into that. I'm surprised he didn't have a concussion. But yeah.
It really is mad, man. But look, Brighton, I was disappointed with the way that we played against you, to be fair. I didn't think we deserved anything less or more. But look, I do feel that Brighton will just be one of those teams this season that you'll just go through a run now and then you'll start winning again. And it'll be like, oh, we're brilliant. And then you'll go through a couple of draws and a couple of losses again. Look, I think it was mad to think that you actually haven't won since it was November, I think was the last time you actually got 3 points, which is absolutely mad to be thinking.
Bournemouth and Man City are our last 2 wins.
Isn't that mad? Because they've both been, well, I mean, Man City haven't, but you know what I mean? They're up there. And Bournemouth have been brilliant this season. So it's like, how can you beat them? But they're not. It's mad. It really is.
Look at the games where we've our record since the 29th of November is draw, loss, draw, loss, draw.
Wow.
That's not okay.
Crazy. It is mad. It really is mad, to be fair. Look, I'm a fan of Brighton. I like your manager. I like the way that you run. I think you're a very, very good club, and I do think that you'll be absolutely fine, to be fair. But the way we played against you, I thought, wow. Just out of interest, did you think it was a penalty, Saliba and João Pedro?
Yeah, I know there was a lot of outrage, and I want to talk a little bit about that game, actually. We've got a couple of minutes, just because, yes, I do think it was a penalty. João Pedro headed the ball. I know there was an argument about Saliba. Did he get a little bit of a touch on it? And then he just gets smashed in the skull. Well, what is it then? Like, you just don't give it and you go, oh, bad luck? Because I don't think you can say that. My big argument on it is if you give the penalty, you have to send him off. Right? If you don't give the penalty and just say it's a clash of heads, then you continue the game. And you leave it at that.
It's not a red card. It's never a red card.
Well, he's given the penalty for basically a foul and dangerous play, right? So why would it not be? It's a head-to-head smash.
Have you ever seen a penalty given for that before, Adam?
Anywhere else on the pitch, though, what happens if someone headbutts a player?
But he's not headbutted him. He's clashed heads, isn't he? He's not headbutted him.
Then it's not a penalty, right? So it depends on your interpretation. He's missed the ball, so he's essentially headbutted him. So for me, you either give the penalty and send him off, or you don't give anything.
Do you think he has head-butted him, or do you think they've gone for it, clashed heads, he's missed it, one of them wins it, I go up with you, one of us is going to win it, one of us is going to miss it. If I headbutt you, do you go, you arsehole, you fouled me? Or do you go, oh, Christ, I won there, I got there first? That's my argument. And it actually does hit the back of Saliba's head anyway, so he does actually get some of the ball. So, I don't know. Everyone's going to have a different this one. It's not going to go round and round in circles, but I don't know. What do you as a panel think? Did you think that was a blatant penalty? Did you think it was bizarre or what?
No. I thought it was a coming together.
See, I agree with Adam.
I don't think there was any determination from either of them to think, I'm going to attack that guy. It was those. I just saw two lads going for the ball. That's what I saw.
Yeah, I agree with Adam. I think it's a penalty because anywhere else on the pitch, I do agree that I think you give a foul. I don't agree that it's a red card because I think everything looks worse, Dan, when it's slowed down. And I've been listening today. I've been listening today to Howard Webb on when they're releasing the audio from the John Duran red card against Newcastle. That for me smacks the people, even when they've appealed Villa and it's gone to the panel, people who don't know football and they haven't played the game. Because if anyone sees that and thinks that he's done him on purpose, it's total nonsense. Because he's put his left foot gives away, and he's twisted his ankle, and he's had to put his foot out because he's going over, and he's never done it on purpose. But as far as the Brighton one goes, you just want consistency. That's all you want, because you'll see it this weekend. Something like that will happen, and it won't get given. That's all you want is consistency.
What I don't get, and I still don't get, my mate, and big up to him for this. I didn't even think about this. How's João Pedro allowed to take that penalty? He's got to go off.
Yeah, I agree. He should have been looked at for a concussion and been off the pitch. I think that the way that I think about this one is just if it was a different body part, right? And it was just your standard like legs challenge with Saliba. You don't go, it's a coming together. No, because if João Pedro's touched the ball first and then Saliba follows through, which is basically what happens, it's a penalty. I mean, I don't understand how it would be, any other version of that. It's not like you go, well, he didn't mean to hurt him. Well, he still hit him. Like, that's just how.
Yeah, no, I get that. And I'm glad you said he didn't mean to hurt him, because I have some people go, he's head-butted him. What, like Zidane did Materazzi? It's not like that, is it? Come on, man. He's come up for the ball, man. Like...
I tell you, talking about malice, though, the irony of all of this is João Pedro shouldn't have been playing in my mind, because against Brentford, if you saw the arm swing that he did, the elbow, I can't believe he got away with that, because that was proper malicious. And he should not, even if he didn't. I don't understand. It's like, he didn't make contact, so you can't give it. Well, so it's just you get away with serious foul play if you're just bad at it. So you just missed, and then you get away with it. Yeah. Anyway,
listen, no, fair play to you, man. But look, bottom line is Brighton are going to be fine. That's the bottom line.
But I'll tell you what I was shocked by in that game. We've played some absolute crap this season, ourselves and then other teams, right? We couldn't beat Southampton. I'm looking down the list. I was at the West Ham game at London Stadium. It's one of the saddest things I think I've ever witnessed. It was. We've played some terrible football. We've played some terrible opposition. I tell you what, Arsenal in this game were probably the least threatening side we've played against in terms of what you got your lot offered. There was I know you scored with that one chance, but outside of that, I thought it was embarrassing for as an Arsenal fan. I know you feel that way. I've watched some of your other stuff that you put out recently, but I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is the Arsenal side everyone's talking about. It's going to guaranteed second at the start of the season. Awful.
I can't disagree, bruv. And you're preaching to the right guy, man. Trust me. It's the same against Ipswich's Rich's Ipswich, because it was. Honestly, absolutely abysmal there as well. But look, I want to move to that game, Emilio and Rich, because there's a rumour has it there's just been awarded another penalty in that game.
There should have been another one. In the end, it should have been another penalty. It was a handball right at the death. But anyway, Rich had this.
Come on, you'd had two. You can't have a hat trick. I don't think Mark could have stood that. Bad enough giving two. Absolute. What were we doing, Dan, with them two penalties?
Let's be honest. As being neutral, the referee was abysmal. Some of the decision making was appalling.
Well, how he missed that Harry Wilson one, that was a joke, man.
That's the point. Right? He's 10 yards
embarrassing.
away.
I must say, Emilio, actually, Harry Wilson, he's very, very lucky getting away with what he said there in front of the ref. But I get it. I understand him. His frustration. I get it. Like, that was horrendously bad.
Right, Dan? What goes through Sam Morsey's head there?
No idea, man.
Because we've come obviously from the Championship and you've got no VAR, right? So you possibly might have got rid of that. Because obviously we were at the other end. You see it live, and then obviously when it goes to the screen, it's going to get given, because 99 times out of 100 when he trots over and looks at the screen. And then when they showed it on the screen in the ground, I thought, you've literally had an absolute head loss moment there. Mm-hmm. And there's no excuse there. You're captain, and we'll probably talk about the Davis penalty. I think, that's a penalty as well. But that's just lazy for me. Morsey's one is absolutely unforgivable, Dan, because he should know better there, because you're never getting away with it. And like watching it back, how the ref misses it in real time, I've got literally got no idea, because it's a stonewaller, isn't it?
Yeah. There's also just over the whole game, I think it was 2-2 was a fair result. I think overall, I don't think we deserved to win the game, but by far we're technically the better team. This touches on the point that Dave was making. The difference between Fulham and Forest, and don't laugh at me here, is the defence. You're keeping the clean sheets. We're not. We've lost as many games as each other. We've scored as many goals as each other, pretty much. You've got that mean defence that you hold on to the lead. You get that early goal. You get that goal, and it's going to be to break that defence is an absolute impossibility at the moment. And that's the difference between Fulham and Forest. We've lost, I think, 21 points from winning positions. We just can't hold on to that lead. We've got the worst record in the Premier League. Convert some of those draws into wins. We should be fighting about getting race into Europe, not Forest only. And this is, I fought in vain 2 years ago, Dave. Trying to get onto the race in Europe when we were top 6, top 8.
Emilio,
I argue for you, Emilio.
You get invited, Emilio. Dan's not letting us go in. Protest. Emilio, protest. Your protest.
Mate, you know it's going to happen, man. You're going to have to be invited, man.
If Dave's not saying nothing, then I'll shout for Dave. Okay.
We'll have a week where it's me, Sam Davies, and Emilio, and like Dan Robbo, and Deji will be here, and they'll be like, "What's going on?" You know what I mean?
Oh, mate, Man United. If they were out of Europe already, they'd be coming on here, and you'd be going and playing their places. But it's crazy, really. Look, let me ask Rich something very quickly before I come back to Emilio. Rich, I really want you to stay up, man. I so badly want you to stay up. I think the Philogene signing is actually a really good one, by the way. I actually do quite rate this guy. I know that he was at Villa and quite it's different level, to be fair. Obviously, he'll get his freedom. I like the Kieran McKenna approach to these signings, and I like what he's building there at Ipswich. I just hope it's enough, Rich. But every single time I watch Ipswich, they bloody concede at the end. Every single time I watch Ipswich, they concede a last-minute goal, or they give away something, or it's mad.
Yeah, look, if you watch the game on Sunday, look, going into that game, I would have took a draw all day long. Going to the Cottage, we knew it was going to be tough. But when you're winning that late in the game, and it's like you say, Dan, it's not the first time, and we can't blame Muric now because he ain't playing. He's been dropped. He's binned him off. You have to win that game. And it's a little bit of naivety there. But look, football's such small margins, because literally 30 seconds earlier, Jack Clark, as the shot hits the post, he would have benefited there. If he'd have hit that 10 yards over the bar, Dan, we could have all got back into position. Yet Leif Davis has made that run on the outside to create that space, and then he's had to track back, and he's lazy. Look, I think as far as Philogene goes, and I know a lot of people say, cool, you're paying a lot of money there, and Villa only paid 13 million. We did actually bid 18 million in the summer, but Villa had that buyback clause, obviously, when he went to Hull. So he was probably always going to go there with the pull of Champions League football. And he's not really, look, he's played I think he's 3 or 4 starts. I see him play against Bayern Munich, and I thought he played well. He's a good player. It's one of them ones where McKenna, if he has a target and he doesn't always get him the first time, it didn't surprise me when I see last night when Fabrizio Romano was tweeting that he was off to town.
Rich, are you keeping Delap? Or is he?
He's going nowhere. He won't. Look, I think whatever division we're in next season, be it in the Championship or the Premier League, I think he goes, because I think we've all watched him. I mean, the game on Saturday, Emilio, on Sunday, literally every game within about 30 seconds, he smashes someone. He smashes your guy straight from the kickoff. He literally shoulder bone. He does that to anybody. It's just like his calling card. I said on here before, Dan. Yeah, I said on here before, Dan, he's like your old school striker, and there ain't many of them left in football.
I love him. I think he's quality.
Yeah. And you just got to watch the penalty on Sunday when he's got it on the spot, and Leno's trying to get in his head, and he's telling him it's not on the spot. He's just laughing at him.
Yeah.
Because he's that confident that he knows that he's got the ability, and he stuck it in the other corner that he did against Sheffield. The Chelsea game, I don't know if any of you watched it. I know it wasn't live. You can obviously watch it on other means. That was probably one of the best all-round centre-forward displays I've seen since following town, because
it was
one of them games where, when you were a kid at school and you always had someone who was good on the ball, and you had like about 4 kids trying to chase him to get the ball off him. That was like he was in the second half. He had like 3 or 4 Chelsea players running after him, and he'd still get a shot away. I think he's brilliant. He's got the right manager, but it's one of them ones when he leaves Ipswich, and he will leave, and I know he'll leave. He still needs to pick the right club to go to, because he needs to go somewhere where he's going to play, and he needs to play under the right manager, because it's. His dad's at the games, Dan. I see his dad there, and he goes and watches. I'm hoping he gets good advice, and he's not poorly advised, and just goes somewhere just for the money. It wouldn't surprise me if he went to Chelsea, because obviously Maresca was the academy coach at City when Delap was there, so he was bigging him up before that game. So it wouldn't surprise me. But if you're a top club, you should be in the mix to sign Liam Delap. You should, and I'm always going to talk him up a little bit because I'm a Town fan, but I still think that he should be in that first England squad of Tuchel in March. I'm not saying he's going to play. I'm not saying he's going to play, but he should be in the mix, learning from Kane and getting in and around them players. And look, it'll be sad when he goes, but you just got, as a Town fan, you've just got to enjoy him. But look, we're giving ourselves probably the best opportunity to stay up. I think that signing the Philogene, that takes us to about 140 odd million we'll have spent in 24, 25. It's a lot of money. We're after Ben Doak, I think. If anyone knows about him, he's from Liverpool. He's on loan.
Won it 16 million. 16 million won it for?
Well, I think they want nearly 30 for that. For him, yeah.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
He's not kicked a ball, really,
Yeah.
hardly for it.
He's a good player.
Mad.
What we lack, I don't know if you see that game on Sunday, is every time Delap goes off, we've got no George Hurst because he's injured, and you bring in Al Hamadi on, who was playing in League Two.
Wimbledon.
And I get a little bit embarrassed, Dan, when he comes on, because he is absolutely miles off it. He's miles off it. He looks absolutely knackered after 10 minutes. And if we can get that striker, in the window, I think there's Latte left from Middlesbrough, Josh Madger, Evan Ferguson got linked at him, but I don't think he'll come to Town. I think
I'd be a good fit, though. I think
he would.
Exactly what you were saying, because he doesn't fit in the Brighton system, and he needs a system like yours to work.
But I think now with a Potter going to West Ham, he could be probably in the mix. They need a striker. But
they get rid of Fulkrug, yeah, I agree.
But I'm happy with what we're doing, Dan, and I think we've given ourselves the best chance of staying up. But it might be, you don't know, come the end of the season, them points you've thrown away late, that's something we have to get out of our game, because it can't keep going on. I think that's 4 times we've let a goal in late. And the other day we scored a couple. We scored at Southampton late. We scored at Wolves and one late. I think we're probably about 3-4 points off where we probably should have been, but we haven't got them points. And you probably think, well, we didn't think you beat Chelsea. We didn't think we beat Tottenham. So we're probably whereabouts I thought we were going to be. And this is why Everton, I think they've got a little thinking.
It's a shootout, Rich. It's becoming, like last year, it became a shootout between Luton and Forest. I think it's becoming a shootout between you and Everton. And I watched you at our place when we won 1-0, and we weren't great. We ground it out. We played some good football. I thought that Fulham Ipswich game it was a brilliant afternoon of football. You had Hibs and Rangers 3-3, Fulham and Ipswich 2-2, and then Liverpool and United. It was fantastic. I saw enough in Ipswich last week to think that they will finish above Everton. Everton, for all the defensive qualities and Pickford and all that, they haven't got anybody who can score a goal. Delap sticks out like a sore thumb. Everton are looking at Delap thinking, shit, wish we had somebody as good as that. And I think it's going to come down to... And the other thing as well is, McKenna is in a very similar sort of mode to the one that Cooper was in when we came up, right? Yeah. I know that'll upset lots because he wants Steve Cooper to die. But Steve Cooper and Kieran McKenna fit those clubs. Steve Cooper fitted Nottingham Forest. Kieran McKenna, in his really considered, thoughtful, measured way, suits Ipswich Town. And if you said to me, Everton or Forest to go, Everton and Ipswich to go, I'm saying Everton are going.
But we're going to have to play all the teams down the bottom. So when we play them, and we played them the first time around, and we haven't taken many points off them. So next time when we play them, like your Wolves, they're the only team we've beaten. We've got to go to Everton. We've got to go to Leicester. They're the last 2 away games we play, so they're going to be big games.
Wow.
I think we a little bit.
David Moyes masterclass is going to be right. You're going to be able to overcome that.
Well, we'll see. But the thing that's changed for us a little bit, Dan, I'll have to go in a couple of minutes. Is
of course,
we got absolutely walloped by Newcastle, who are probably the best team I've seen at Portman Road this season. And he's changed now, and he's playing 3 centre backs because we played the same way that we played in League One, the same way we played in the Championship. And I think you can only play that to a point. We were attacking, we were really open, and now we've gone back to a little bit of, like Dave was saying, you've got to stop goals going in. You know, you ain't winning anything if you keep conceding. I know we conceded 2 on Sunday. That was not through Fulham's good play, really. That was down to poor decision making for us. So if we can get that right, we're now a little bit more defensively sound. I thought we defended quite well at the Emirates, Dan. You didn't. I thought Arsenal that night, you were in second gear. You're probably always going to win that game 1-0. We had a little bit of possession the last 15 minutes, but I don't think we believed, I didn't believe that we were going to score, and I don't think the players believed that night that we were going to get anything out of the game. But I think we took a lot of positives out of the game, because if we'd have gone to the Emirates and got hammered again, psychologically you're thinking that's another heavy defeat. We've gone there and we haven't had a lot of possession, but I thought we acquitted ourselves pretty well defensively. And then you take the positives into the Chelsea game. We kept a clean sheet there. And then on Fulham on Sunday, really, we should have won that game, but we didn't. But then we played Brighton on Thursday night. So I'm hoping their form sort of still continues. You can beat Norwich on Saturday, please, Adam, if you don't mind. You can have a win down in East Anglia.
I don't remember what it feels like to win, so no, I wouldn't worry.
Right, I've got to go. Got to go, boys.
Love for that.
Catch you later.
Love. Enjoy
Cheers,
the
Rich.
football, mate.
Take
care.
See you later.
Bye,
See you
mate.
next time. Look, before I close on Forest Emilio, just quickly. Look, I've got to be real. Oh, where's he gone? There he is. He's gone. Marco Silva, best Fulham have had in a long time, Premier League manager wise.
Absolutely, yeah. Look, he's getting the best out of this squad of players. Him and Nuno, very similar in terms of mindset, ethics, the unity at the club. We're not blessed with billions of pounds of investment, and we had that first season when we got relegated when we spent 100 million. Was it 6-7 years ago? But the last 2 or 3 years, we've been trying to balance the books. Paulinho goes, Mitrovic goes. We haven't spent 40-50 million on players. Smith Rowe's our biggest. Our biggest transfer signing, and he's been a disappointment this season. There's things I won't say on this show in case I get accused of spreading some gossip. But there's
pause.
There is some stuff going on behind the scenes there, and that's coming from a reliable source. But he's playing tonight. We've got a cup game tonight. I should really be at the cup game tonight, but I've been so many games in recent weeks. I'm getting a little bit fed up on all these games, so I'm going to watch in about 10 minutes time when I come off the show. But Marco Silva's done a great job. I'm worried that this merry-go-round, all these managerial changes, none of them have really been linked with Marco Silva. I know West Ham made an inquiry a couple of days ago. We firmly told Wet Spam to bugger off and find somebody else. So, but I worry about Ange going.
Deji wants him. He wants him.
Yeah, I worry about him going to Tottenham. That's probably the most natural fit. But so I want Ange to keep winning for Tottenham, keep getting the results, and to keep Marco Silva focused on the project before him. He's still got the rest of the season. Look, if we can get into the top 8, top 7, top 8, potentially an outside chance for European place, great. But it's a good time to be a Fulham fan. I don't think, as I've said before 10 minutes ago, there's not much between Forest and Fulham. The difference is you're closing games out and difficult.
Yeah. At the moment, we are.
We've got we're 8 games unbeaten. We had a shocking run of fixtures in December. Tottenham away, we should have won. Liverpool with 2-2 away, we should have won that game. We had the down to 10 men. Maybe lacked a bit of ambition and to push on and win that game. But but the flip side, Ipswich game on Sunday, you'd expect to get 2 points, but through the 3 points. But Ipswich deserved that result. We, like Adam, we drew at home to Southampton on just before Christmas. We just lacked. I don't know. When we're playing against 11 men defending in their numbers, we struggle to break those teams down, and that's not. I wasn't saying Marco Silva's being found out, but we do struggle against sort of teams struggling in the low reach of the division, battling to get points and just putting 11 men behind the ball. That's a problem. And if we can sort that out and just close out the issue that we're conceding late goals or conceding from winning positions, we should be 3 or 4 places up the league. And then so overall, we've been linked to a number of players this season in the transfer window. This Igor Jesus, I don't really know much about him, but let's talk about 25, 30 million on the table to get him. But Pereira's supposedly leaving the club as well. So there's potentially a little bit of movement. Evan Ferguson has been linked from Brighton to Fulham. I don't know why Brighton would release him to Fulham, one of your rivals. So we need a couple more players. We've been hit with a few injuries in the last 4 or 5 weeks. We're slightly thin bare in certain key positions, but overall, we're mid-table, potentially an outside chance of a European position. It's a good time to be a Fulham fan. But Marco Silva needs to stay here, finish off this project. He'll be here till the summer, and I think if we can get to top 8, he's probably got at least another season. I mean, he wants to take that club into Europe or maybe compete in Europe. But I think it might be a step too far to get into Europe.
No, I hope Fulham get top 8, if I'm honest. Because
I definitely don't. But
I do. But you know what it is? You've got teams like Fulham, Bournemouth, Brentford. You can class Newcastle.
Yeah, I hate them all. Yeah. Have you looked at Amelia? Have you looked at like how Fulham and Brighton compare this season? It's almost identical.
Very similar. But
different ways of different ways of being average is how we've done it. But I think Ferguson, he's being linked with everyone at the moment. But I mean, if he plays how he's been playing with us, he's scored once in about the last year. So it'd be like a double agent. We'll send him out to you and just waste your time. It's perfect.
The thing
I'll tell you what it does do.
We've only lost 4 games this season. That just shows again, it's a progress. We can go to Stamford Bridge and win there. We should have beaten Liverpool at Asworth. So we defeats last season and now
one at Forest as well. Emilio beat us as well, mate. You know what I mean? I tell you what he does say. He says that promotion class of Bournemouth, Forest and Fulham was probably the best for many, many years. It might never be as good again. I mean, I actually think, I look at it now and I look at Fulham and I look at Brighton, I look at Brentford, I look at us, I look at, that cluster of teams. We might have all got up at the right time because I think the gap has grown. I watch a lot of Championship football. Leeds are top, but Leeds can't beat Hull. So there's nobody in the Championship that you think is anywhere near ready to come and take on a Brighton or a Fulham or a Brentford or a, dare I say, a Nottingham Forest or certainly a Newcastle or anything like that. So what you might find is that we might be running into a sort of a period of history where the 3 that come up are always the 3 that go back down.
It's bad. It's horrible for the league. Horrible.
Yeah. It might even become a thing in years to come where there's no sort of promotion and relegation, and it's a thing where you have to apply or something like that, and it becomes almost like a franchise. So I think I saw the point raised. Sam Davis on AFC Bournemouth back of the net, he raised it this week, and he was saying how good was that promotion class, because Fulham and Bournemouth came up and established pretty much straight away. We have clung on, right, to stay there, which I think is why me and Ben can really enjoy this now, because neither of us ever thought we'd be in this. So those people in the chat who were saying we're giving it big licks,
no, enjoy it. Enjoy it.
Because the thing is, we might get beat.
He actually has replied, Dave, saying, "I'll spare you, Dave. Just enjoy the ride. I love Nottingham Forest." So there we go, man. There we go, and that's what you need to do, man. Enjoy it, 100%.
Yeah.
Dor, let me put this to you, Dor, because King Hoddle said this earlier, right? He said, on a serious note, Forest remind me of Leicester in 2016. Compact, hard-working, players know their roles, simple but very efficient and effective. You couldn't do the unthinkable, right?
No.
Wait. Let me say something. Right. No, Dave, stop nodding, Dave, because
it's shaking my head, not nodding. That's nodding.
Okay, right. Let me say something because what game was it? I think it was a Brentford game, and then Dave, he's really balanced and he always shows respect to the other teams.
Yeah.
But when we beaten teams, I had to nudge Dave at the Wolves game because yes, we was 1-0 up and Wolves were playing good and bark. And I said to Dave, listen.
They were.
And I'm like, Dave, listen, we're playing great. Then when we got the second goal, I thought, Dave, listen, now we mean business. So the question is, can we do a Leicester? Dave, yes, we can. If we beat Liverpool on Tuesday.
Yeah.
If we beat Liverpool on Tuesday. And
the conversation's Ben, if we win on Tuesday, mate, the conversations go in different directions.
Exactly. Because I was watching, shout out to Hassan, Liverpool fan. That the 4 usual top 4 teams. I'm like, where's Forest? But he says to me, if Forest win Liverpool, I'll be on the show. So the question is, can we do a Leicester? I think we can. like I said, we are in a great moment of beating teams because as all the Forest fans thought.
If you beat them, you could be 6 points behind them. Even that's if they beat Everton, which
you
I
know,
think they will.
I think what Forest have done. I think what Forest
Crazy.
have done, which is unbelievably remarkable. If you'd have said on August the 14th, when all of this kit and caboodle got underway, that Nottingham Forest at home to Liverpool on January the 14th would be a big game with a lot of significance, we'd have said no. We'd have been struggling
You've
against
been picked
relegation.
up with a van
Liverpool,
with people in white jackets.
Yeah, absolutely, Adam. Absolutely.
100%.
Adam, they're knocking on my door as we speak, dear boy. Right. Now the thing is, you know, I think if Liverpool win on Tuesday night, and they are the favourites because they're the runaway leaders, right? So the people in the chat, if we lose to Liverpool on Tuesday night, I'll be the first to say, "Well played, Liverpool," and congratulate them. That is my way. But if Forest somehow pull off that particular miracle, then you have to kind of take it serious. And there are parallels. I look at Milenkovic's Huth, right? Murillo is Wes Morgan. There's lots of parallels. It's Matt Sells like Kasper Schmeichel. You know, maybe Woody is Jamie Vardy. You look at the sides and there are similarities. When Leicester won it, it just happened to be a fallow period for the only 6 teams that the media really want to talk about, because they don't want to talk about the rest of us, right? This time, this Liverpool team, I think Slot has had this fixture in his mind for a while. Liverpool come to the City Ground in that cauldron and they win, and they win the stuff.
I hope you beat.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. Do you finish above Arsenal? Do you finish above Arsenal?
I don't know, Adam. I don't know about that. I think the problem for Arsenal is, I think Bukayo is such a huge loss for Arsenal. He's such a talisman for him. I think as a person, he brings them together. He's got that. I just love Bukayo Saka, right? Martin Odegaard has been injured, but it came back. He was brilliant against us. For me, Odegaard is the best individual performance I've seen this season. But now he's having a kind of like, you know, it's like a horse that comes back from it has a good run, then the second time out, he's not so good. And I think Martin Odegaard's just been found out a bit. And Arsenal, they got this. Nwaneri is out now. Do you know what I mean? So they're gonna lose him. I think Arsenal do finish above Forest. I'd like to think we finish 4th or 5th. But I think Arsenal.
I'll take that. But Dave, but the question is, like what Dan said.
Just quickly, Adam, I know you got to shoot, man. Thank you so much, my bro.
Yeah.
And I'll see
Cheers,
you
guys.
All the best, mate.
Cheers, Adam.
Good to see
you
you
over there, man. In a bit, mate. Sorry, Dor. Go on, mate.
No, so the question is, can we do Leicester? Possibly we can. But let's say this Liverpool game is so important, and
it would be amazing. It would be unbelievable.
You
need Liverpool to drop off, though, man. You need Liverpool to drop off.
People need to remember we've already. I don't know if people know we're the only team that's beat Liverpool this season.
Last night.
And well, that league. That's the league, Dave. But I'm saying like this game's massive, but we've got to remember we're in a fantastic run. We're gonna have down moments like all Premier League teams does.
Yeah.
And I think Liverpool, they got a bad run in. They got Brentford and Bournemouth away. Teams that I think we beat Brentford away. And the question is, again, I was asked to the panel, like start of the season, we looked at the fixture list, and I looked at December, and that was the worst list. And what's happened? We beat
won all
everyone.
of them.
Mate, that was the tough run, and you got through that. And
Exactly.
Look, Emilio, go watch Fulham, man. I didn't realize.
Go watch Fulham, really.
I love the debate as always. 30,000 followers, and well done.
Well done. Yeah, absolutely.
Well done.
Enjoy the game, Emilio.
Games, guys. Enjoy. Take care.
Take care, mate.
Take care, Emilio.
Sorry, Dor. Go on, mate.
I don't. Everyone's going, but as I said, 6 games in trot. We never thought of that because, as Dave knows, we won 3 in a row. We beat Leicester, West Ham, and Palace. But to get 6 in a row, it's just amazing feeling. Everyone's talking about us. I'm loving it. So, like I said, I've got to keep nudging Dave. Dave, just believe yourself, Dave. We're Forest fans. Dave witnessed the glory years under Brian Clough. 50 years this week it was the man for the legend.
Yeah.
But I'm going to throw myself under the bus. When Nuno come to Forest, I thought to myself, okay, can he outdo Steve Cooper? And he has done. So now this season, we're doing well. I hope it carries on. But now we've got to focus on Liverpool. And if we beat them, I want everyone to believe that we're in a title contenders I'm
100%. You should 100% believe that. And
You know
like,
what-
I'll just do
you
this
know what,
super
Dan?
chat because someone's thrown it in quick. Dan,
Yeah.
who do you prefer to win the league, Nottingham Forest or Liverpool? Obviously, Forest. That's not even a question. No, that's not even a question. Surely not. Big up to you, bro. But clearly, I want Forest to win the league if Arsenal don't win it, which I don't think we will. And just quickly, lads, Edu looking at Douglas Luiz to come in. I'm hearing at Forest.
He's a fantastic player. Played fantastic for Aston Villa.
Yeah.
But again, that kind of player come to Forest, I'm like, wow, he's a fantastic player. And we have struggled, like, big up Ryan Yates. He's been fantastic in that role as well with Dominguez. Sangare, we don't know when he's coming back. But if we get Douglas Luiz, I think it'll be another fantastic signing.
Imagine him with Elliot Anderson and what's his name? Gibbs White. Wow.
Gibbs White, wow. It just, you know what it's done? It just, with Elliot Anderson as well, and shout out to Pete, he did say, oh, I miss him, but every time I see him play, me and Dave watch him live, and if he doesn't get caught up for the England squad, I'll be gobsmacked because he's been outstanding, and he's him and Gibbs White, their connection in that centre midfield is just second to none. And listen, I'm happy. We're in the top. We're third place now, joint second with Arsenal, and I'm just happy like Dave. But like I say, I'm Dave. I'm not saying Dave. Dave, right now.
You're on mute, Dave. But yeah,
Dave, you're mute. Dave, you're mute. But Dave, all I'm saying, Dave, is,
Rain Hog Heaven. The evolution of this club is such that now we can be mentioned in conversations about players like Douglas Luiz. For so many years, nobody wanted to come to Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
Everybody saw it as a graveyard, right? And a lot of people didn't want to come to us after we like clung on the first year and then clung on even more last year, right? Now we're in this. What Forest have done is astonishing. It's barely believable. I never foresaw it. And I'm still thinking I'll wake up and we'll be back battling relegation. Do you know what I'm saying? But honestly, this.
Dave, you're mute.
You're going on mute again.
We've got Luton tomorrow. Luton on Saturday in the cup. That is a big game. And Nuno, bless him, he was asked about leagues and all that, and he went, "All that matters is Luton." Bless him. And that's important because like some of the supporting cast will get a run out. But in terms of the transfer business, what we've done, having been a standing joke 2 seasons ago, I don't think we are a standing joke. I think we've made the 2 best signings of any club in the Premier League this year. Milenkovic is the best for me. He's changed everything. We've gone from the
signing of the season, mate. Signing of the season.
Oh, mate, Dan,
incredible.
We spent so many minutes, either me or Dora or us guys on this show, talking about how appalling Forest were at set pieces last year. That's all changed. Milenkovic has made Murillo a better player. He's made Ola Aina a better player. He's given more confidence to Matt Sells. He just emanates from this guy. He's a colossus.
He does his job, Dave. He does his job.
He does his job. The other night, the Wolves wingers were bunging balls in the box, and he was just booting them out. The last goal came from him giving it the have it upfield, you know. But then Elliot Anderson, what I love about Elliot Anderson is he's so unassuming. He doesn't go seeking the limelight. Elliot Anderson, I've got a feeling that Elliot Anderson is the most introverted member of that squad. The one who finds it the least comfortable to be in the spotlight. He doesn't see. He's not an Ola Aina with his Ribena, and he's not a Callum Hudson-Odoi singing and dancing with his hard-boiled eggs. Elliot Anderson seems like a really quiet lad who goes about his business, but boy, can he play! And and this is why this game on Tuesday night is so fascinating and so pressure-free from us. Like I say, Dan, we lose, nothing changes. And Liverpool are then probably nailed onto the title if they win. And if Liverpool come and win at our place, fair play to them. They'll be worthy champions elect. But if we win it, hang on, if we win, then the likes of Jamie Carragher, Gary Lineker, and all the ones who say, the Tom Cairney say, it'll come to an end, it'll come to an end, it'll come to an end. They might have to some of them are having to readjust their views. So it's amazing, mate, honestly.
Before we go, let me ask you, Dan, what Forest players would you take to Arsenal right now?
I'd take quite a few in my squad, if I'm honest. I would take your goalkeeper because he's better than Neto. I would take your centre-back pairing because they're better than what we've got in terms of like backups. I think Gabriel and Saliba are unreal, but I think to back them up, there's no one. I think this Milenkovic is unreal, but this Murillo is ridiculous as well.
Got Morata as well.
Yeah, I like that Ola Aina. I think he's been fantastic for you, right back. Elliot Anderson's been wonderful. I think the two wingers have been great, if I'm honest. I think Hudson-Odoi and
just take the whole team, Dan. Take the whole team.
Yeah, take the whole team.
Take the whole team.
I mean, I'm just pointing out, of course, the players that I think have been great for you. How many of them would I take? Quite a few in my squad, that's for sure. But the one I absolutely love, who I've just been really, really impressed with every time I see him, is Gibbs White, mate. He is quality. I think he's so good. He's got better and better. And everyone was like, weren't they, when you signed him, like, a lot of money that from Wolves. That's a ridiculous signing. Right? But actually, you look at it now and you think, actually, he's been worth every penny. I think he's great. I like Chris Wood. I wouldn't take him at Arsenal in terms of a starter, but I think he'd probably play for us right now. I think you've got some fantastic players. But I think Nuno deserves credit here, man.
100%,
Nuno deserves credit here, man. He has been phenomenal. And I think that when you look at what he does, it just makes me smile because Tottenham fans said he was an absolute he's a clown.
Don't get me started on the Tottenham fan, man. Don't get me started on the Tottenham.
They're the most unhappy people.
Embarrassing. That they can have Conte win everything and then he doesn't win. The only club he doesn't win at is Spurs. Jose Mourinho's won apart from at Tottenham, and now Nuno has been successful in the Premier League at both.
Dan, would you take Nuno? Would you take Nuno?
Well, funny enough, Gunnar said to me about getting Nuno back in when he was at Wolves. They were like, go and get Nuno in, don't like sack Arteta. But that was when he was like coming 8th or whatever. Look, I wouldn't, because I believe that we should be looking at higher for that. I think we need to look at proven winners that have won at elite level. I think Nuno is perfect for Forest. Absolutely perfect.
That's the point.
I look at Matt Doherty at what Wolves was doing. I look at Matt Doherty now, and he's not much, is he? But that's what Ola Aina is. I look at what Raul Jimenez was at Wolves. That's now Chris Wood. I look at the players like they had when they had what was his name? Matinho and Neves. That's what you've got in your midfield now. It is so like Nuno, man. It really is.
Nuno, Dan, fits a certain size of club, I think, and like Wolves and Forest are relatively similar in terms of stature, and I think that's right. Yeah. I tell you what, I looked at one player I have to mention from Wolves.
By the way, I did have you going down. Everyone.
Yeah, that's right. People in the chat, that's why we don't like Dan. We don't like him. We only hate him.
I loved him. I was happy he said that because I was hoping we could it would motivate. Nuno took that and he played 12th man when Totti said it, and he played it to the lads in the dressing room. Right. I tell you what, the other night I was really impressed. I know he was on a losing side, but this Jurgen Strand Larsen's a good centre forward, mate.
Very, very good.
Do you know what, Dan? I wonder if I looked at him and I thought, and with Arsenal, I look at Arsenal and think, boy, is it ever a team in need of a centre forward or a striker of that can? And Strand Larsen, it's a thought, maybe, with better service. You know what I mean?
I'll take anyone at the moment. It's just we are so bad, mate. Going forward, it's just embarrassing.
I saw your live stream earlier on, and you was like getting depressed, Dan. But if you want to be a Forest fan, just come on loan to be a Forest fan.
Mate, I want you to win the league, man. If Arsenal don't do it, I don't want Liverpool to win it. So.
No. I'm not gonna lie. I don't want Liverpool to win the league. It's simple as if it's not us, I want you lot, or sorry to say Chelsea. I want Chelsea to win it. I still want Liverpool to win it. That's why on Tuesday we beat them already. I want to do it again. Not just because I don't think we'll win the Premier League. No, that's being real. But
it's Liverpool's to lose this title at the moment.
But remember when you beat them not just this season, you beat them last year as well.
We beat them.
And they were so awful. It might have been the year before, and they were just horrible.
We beat them
1-0. 1-0. Talbot 1-0 scored.
Yeah, and then last year, if you remember last year, we lost to a Darwin Núñez header after 99 minutes when the play at the other end, Tierney gave the ball back to Liverpool when he should have given it back to Forest.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that very well. We were going for a title with him at the time. I remember that very well.
So Liverpool, we're a little bit of the City ground, maybe not Forest, but the City ground. It's a little bit of catnip for Liverpool. But my view is that if Liverpool come and win on Tuesday night, then I think the title is pretty much there in their grasp. To me, I tell you what wouldn't surprise me on Tuesday night is if Arne Slot goes for Conor Bradley over Trent.
Yeah, something wrong there. There.
Do you know, although I felt for Trent, I really felt for him because he was hung out to dry a bit. You know what I mean? But
Well,
I don't
the
know.
Liverpool fans are actually been quite unbelievable to him, in my opinion. But that's another story. Listen, we got to wrap people. I've got another show, and I'm over to Pete's now. Stay with us. We're going to redirect over to Pete's channel. So
shout out to you, done for 30k. Shout out, my friend.
Oh, thank you, mate. No, I appreciate
done.
that. Thank you very much. And listen, thank you all as well, because you're all a massive part of it. So I really appreciate you all coming on, and I appreciate everyone in the chat. Make sure you do me a favor, hit the like button, hit subscribe, go check out both the links to reality raffles, and come join us at the Hippodrome on the 24th of January. Both those links are in the description. And we'll see you next time. Take it easy.
Peace and love, everyone.